All right, all right. Let's get this started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad that you are here joining us for the Savvy Success Protocol. It means that you are working towards achieving something in life, and that's always a good thing. So you might be wondering what the savvy success thing is all about. Well, let's start by definition. What is savvy? Savvy is the ability to make good judgments, having common sense, shrewd, practical knowledge. Okay, so savvy is beyond just being smart. It's being savvy smart. Success is simply the accomplishment of a purpose. We are working towards accomplishing something. If you are in this workshop, it is because you have a purpose to accomplish, whether it be a health goal, maybe you're trying to learn something new, or just needing a something different in life. Like you just need a change. Something's got to give. Okay. For whatever reason that you're here, I'm super glad that you're taking this opportunity for growth. I think we can all agree, though, that when it comes to making and hitting goals or accomplishments, working towards something that's important to us, it's pretty easy at first, but then we tend to lose interest or we just maybe give up admitting defeat after about a week, maybe longer if you have real motivation driving you. Okay. I'll be the first to admit though that before I kind of had all of this protocol made aware to me, I really had to be pinned down to even just make a goal because I just knew I wouldn't stick to it. I don't get it done. Then I'd have to deal with those aftermath feelings of failure, being stuck, feeling less than, like, why can't I accomplish anything? So it's just kind of easier not to, right? So yeah, setting goals has never been my thing until now. Like, can you relate to that? Is that just kind of my problem? Maybe. I don't know. The problem is, though, that I am a big dreamer. I thrive on purpose driven work and I love achieving things. So I think that you do too. Otherwise, you're probably going to hate this whole presentation. So what we're going to cover today. So the Savvy Success Protocol is just a way that I've discovered. It's not my thing. I've pulled this from other experts in the field. I've just really learned how to apply it in real time, in the real world, in my real life situations. I'm seeing results that you can't even imagine right now. Okay, I've been working at this for about 3 months now, working on this protocol and this all the mindsets and the clearing stuff that we go through. And I am just on a massive momentum shift. And I'm so excited by it that I just decided that I can't keep this stuff to myself. And that's why I'm throwing it to you guys for anybody that might benefit from it. So what are we going to accomplish during this protocol? We're going to identify your roadblocks. What is stopping you? How to get through what is stopping you. So we're going to knock down those roadblocks. And then moving forward, like how do you move forward, locking in that energy, moving forward with conviction and being solid in where you're going. We're going to have you align with your intention until you achieve success. We're going to cover some aroma freedom technique and some releasing techniques using essential oils. Essential oils are not a requirement through this process, but let me tell you, if you want to put rocket boosters on this whole process and really see fast and immediate results, the essential oils are actually the key to that. So don't disregard those. Now, this part of the workshop is all just kind of assuming that you've already done the pre-work to this workshop, of figuring out what it is you're working towards. If you haven't done that part, you haven't laid out your big dream 10-year plan, and then also mapped out the little tiny goals that are your roadmap to achieving that big 10-year plan. If you haven't done that work, I want you to stop here, go back and do that, and then come back to this workshop here. So you know where you're going, you know how you want to get there, but along the way, for some reason, we quit. We start procrastinating, we start losing focus, we're distracted. We're going to identify all of that. What is stopping you specifically focusing on the top 10 reasons why people fail their goals. All right, reason number one. Maybe your goal is not specific enough. So you visualize the end game, but not those steps to get there. You have to break your big goal down into little baby goals that you can accomplish. And as you accomplish those little baby goals, feeling that sense of accomplishment is going to kind of drive you forward. And it's also going to help that feeling of overwhelm that usually is the cause of our stagnation. When you think of like, if you've got like your whole to-do list is just huge, you've got so much on your plate right now that you just don't even know where to start, and so you don't do anything. Okay, so whittle down and get real specific on what it is that you want to accomplish. Break it down into baby steps. You have a low belief mindset. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself or believe in your product or believe in your mission or believe in your purpose, you're never going to start. You're never going to move. Fear is going to keep you from taking action. You're never going to tap into your highest potential if you don't believe in yourself. So we're going to do a lot of mindset work during the whole course of this challenge, and hopefully start giving you a higher belief mindset. Number three, you're just not working for it. You say you want something, but you don't do the things necessary to achieve it. It's the same concept as, okay, you buy a gym membership wanting to get into better shape for the year, and then you never use it. You don't go to the gym, okay? It's more than just visualizing what I want and now it's going to just happen for me. No. You got to do the step. You've got to do the things that it takes to get there. Action yields result. If you want results, you have to take action. Number four, your goal doesn't inspire you. If your goal is not exciting you, you will never take action to achieve it. Okay, so you need to make the reason for your goal strong enough that it's emotional, because emotions drive action and action yields result. So if you haven't mapped out a huge goal that just lights your fire and gets you out of bed in the morning, go back to step one of this course and really fine tune your vision for yourself. Five, you're just not committed. Successful people do whatever it takes to accomplish their goal. Unsuccessful people do what's convenient. Now, I don't know about you, but that one hit me. That one hit me. So if this is you, you're the one like me who likes to just do what's convenient, not what needs to be done, not what is necessary. You're just not resonating enough with the emotion of what it looks like or what it feels like when your end game is accomplished. You're not seeing your big picture. You may be seeing your big picture, but you're not feeling it. And we need to be feeling it to drive us into action. 6, lack of focus. It does not work to be a jack of all trades. You cannot do all the things all at once. Okay, so you want to just whittle things down until you can really do something, just one thing. For an example, I have a whole lot of content and course ideas for my business. I have notebooks and notebooks and notebooks of these ideas of what I want to do, but I have so many of them that I've never gotten any of them really finished. Once I had gone through this success protocol, I recognized that weakness in myself, that roadblock for me. I've now been able to whittle things down to prioritize them so I can just focus on one project and I put it out. Do not move on to the next project until I whittle that one out. So identify your most important results yielding goal and then focus on achieving that first. So prioritize things. Excuses. I found myself making all kinds of excuses when I started this process. We'd use everything from the economy or the weather is a huge excuse for us, especially up here in North Dakota. It's kind of windy out there today. Maybe I just won't. So excuses, kids, family, time, those are all just the most common excuses we use to self-sabotage our stuff. So when you give enough excuses, that you'll eventually buy into them and it's just going to stop you from moving forward. Successful people persevere through anything and they stay their course no matter what. 8, we don't know how to handle failure. we can't handle failure because we've never been taught. We've always been taught that failure is a negative thing and it's a bad thing to fail. We need to reprogram our mind to view failure as an opportunity for growth. Failure is feedback. So if you're one of those people who tends to jump from company to company, business to business, brand to brand, lifestyle or lifestyle, diet to diet, all the different trend to trend, you are probably reacting to not knowing how to handle failure. If you work on something and you don't see results, like immediate results, you tend to choose to give up and chase the next shiny thing that offers big promises. Okay, the same applies to that goal setting. So you need to understand that failure is just feedback, lessons that show you the right path, and then to just help you see where you need growth. Number 9, we get distracted. We set a goal and then we let other things distract us from the goal and we end up quitting before even getting started. This is a huge one for me. I'm always calling myself out on my distractions. So really, it's a mindset thing. When you set your mind to do something, just make sure everything you do is in alignment with that end game. So an example of this, I constantly find myself sitting down at my desk to work, and I've got multiple things on my to-do list that I want to check off that are going to grow my business. But instead I end up cleaning out my email inbox, or I start tidying up my desk, or I start scrolling through Facebook world. Okay. Distractions are super, super self-saboteurs. And the final one is we just simply give up too soon. You know, that we've all heard this story of the man who bought a gold mine and he worked it for so long until he finally gave up and sold the mine. And the people who bought it from him struck gold 6 inches where the man quit. Okay. So the only ones that lose in the game of life are the ones who quit. Life is a marathon that is won one step at a time. Just do the things one step at a time. Do not give up. Keep working through the marathon. So now that we know how to recognize why we quit 92% of the time, how do we move past these barriers? And that's what today is largely about, moving past. Now, these are your identifiers. Let's learn to move past them. One of the very first steps that I recommend you do to move past is called the aroma freedom technique. And I've actually have a certified aroma freedom technique practitioner coming to the group on Saturday at 1 o'clock Central Time Zone. So make sure that you get on that call. She's going to walk you through an actual aroma freedom technique release session. And so by being on the call live, it'll give you an opportunity to have her critique your statements, your I am statements. That's part of the process to make sure it's in alignment and on point with where your session is trying to take you. And you'll have the opportunity to ask her for feedback and advice and stuff like that. So really, really important call to be on. AFT helps us overcome that inner resistance that is stopping us. Okay. So we can identify those top 10 behaviors in ourselves, but where are they coming from? And that's what AFT can help you find. It was developed by a clinical psychologist named Benjamin Perkis. So basically he was practicing on his patients and he just had this nagging feeling that medicating everybody just wasn't the way. And so he started doing some research into the psychology papers, and that's where he stumbled onto Gary Young's emotional release and essential oils and all the studies that have been done on the impact of essential oils on the mind. And so he started experimenting with his clients, and he found that the essential oils really increased his rate of success, and he has become one of the top psychologists in his niche. He has the least amount of patients on medication. So how AFT works: the amygdala and the hippocampus are parts of the brain that link your memories together based on a common feeling rather than the context of the memory. So an event from your childhood or early adulthood, or even just yesterday, they're all going to have an emotional charge to it. Okay. Feelings of fear, feelings of failure, letdown, embarrassment, or even happiness or bliss. A memory always has an emotion attached to it. At some point down the line, we're going to have another experience. And while this experience may be completely unrelated, the brain is going to associate it to match this same emotion as a past event. And if that emotion of a past event is a negative emotion and you're matching that emotion with a previous event or a previous thought, an idea, what you want to do, accomplish, your brain is going to just stop you. It's going to stop you for protection because it's going to say, nope, I felt this way one other time and it ended bad. You're not going to go there. And that's a shame because our goals should be scary. Okay. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. Growth is scary. And so when we associate or put that emotional charge of fear onto a really fantastic goal or accomplishment, and our body says, nope, that's unsafe. Don't go there. This shows up in our behaviors based on a lot of those top 10 reasons why people fail that we went through. Personal example. So this is me being very transparent. My very first AFT session revealed this to me. And so I'm thankful that I'm able to acknowledge it or recognize it and move on. So no judgment. Okay. The reason why I hated goals was because when I was 18 years old, I had a goal to win a national championship in the Little Britches Rodeo Association. The event was trail course, and my horse and I were unbeatable in the state of Minnesota. So I had made this goal that for my last season before I aged out of the association, you can only compete in that association until you're 19 years old. So my very last season, I made it a goal that I was going to go to national finals, maxed out in points, and make a run at a world title. I was unbeatable in Minnesota, and my times were well within the national standard so there was no reason that this goal couldn't have been accomplished. 2 weeks before that first rodeo of my very last season, my horse broke his leg. I had to start my final season with just 2 weeks of prep time on a new horse. And this horse did great in her own right, but she was only a 20-day broke 2-year-old. So she was just a little too inexperienced to take me to a national title in that short of time. So I did not achieve that goal. Fast forward, another experience. I'm now in my mid-20s competing on that same horse, actually. And she's now an accomplished athlete in the sport of cowboy mounted shooting. If you don't know what it is, Google it and watch some YouTube videos. It's a pretty awesome, cool sport. So anyways, I had climbed my way to the professional ranks into that sport. And so I hit a season in life where I decided to give my horse a season off from the big competitions while I focused on my other client training horses and sharpening my gun handling skills. And then the point of this was also to allow me to save up some travel money because that next year, my new goal was to make it into the top 10 ladies world standings. Now that would have been my 2010 goal. However, in October of 2009, the fall of the season, I was just about ready to make this run for this goal. My horse was hit by a truck and she had to be put down. So there I was, starting all over again. Once again, goal was within my reach. No reason for me not to hit it. And for reasons beyond my control, it just didn't happen for me. Now, I was only able to make that connection and identify all of this underlying history through Aroma Freedom Technique many, many years later. Okay, so I've been working through stuff right here with you guys. Each session I have unfolds a new layer and propels me forward in a new way. Okay, so being aware is the first step towards progress, and that's what this does for you. So back to the amygdala and the hippocampus, linking memories based on common emotions. Okay, the amygdala responds to the sense of smell instantaneously. Okay, you see here on my graphic, This is the olfactory. These are the olfactory nerves, the nasal cavity. Okay, so the olfactory bulb is your sense of smell, and that is your emotional center. The olfactory bulb files away these memories based on smell. You can see the amygdala is wrapped right around it, connected to it. And that's also where the hippocampus is right there. Okay, so the olfactory, amygdala, hippocampus, they're all right there directly tied into your nose. Okay, so when we pair oils that have certain frequencies, now frequencies are just measurable energy. Okay, it's the how we measure the rate of vibration that something has. So all sound, you put your hand up on your neck while you speak, there's a vibration there. That's frequency. Okay, measurable energy. So when we pair oils that have certain frequencies with emotions that have certain frequencies, pair them with organs and nerve pathways that all have frequencies, we can experience instant realignment of images, feelings, and belief systems as we smell these oils. Now, there's such a deep connection of this between the sense of smell and memory that we're just somehow able to change the meaning of these memories just simply by introducing the essential oils at the right time and reprogramming that cellular memory to a positive emotion. Now, Dr. Perkis discovered that if he asked a series of questions in his patients in a specific order, his patients would just stumble on these memories linked to their current problems, but totally unrelated. Okay, now the other side of this, like think of how when we smell food, and this food can either remind us of a pleasant memory or an unpleasant memory. Usually, like if it's a pleasant memory, it's a memory of home, maybe mom's homemade a special meal she used to make, pie, whatever. Frankincense, a lot of people will associate the scent of frankincense to the smell of church. These smells make you feel good. Every time you smell something similar, it's that same concept. Okay, it's just opposite of the spectrum. Those are positive memories. We're looking for the negative memories. Okay, and now it has to be essential oils with living constituents still intact. Okay, like Young Living's essential oils. Okay, they have the ability to reach the cell at a DNA level. They can actually clear misprogrammed DNA and rewire it, from what I'm told. So if you're one who likes affirmations and you've always just used affirmations, when you pair an oil with an affirmation, it actually speeds up the process of clearing that negative energy, of clearing that misprogrammed garbage from your DNA, replacing it with a positive charge of the affirming statement. This is oftentimes instantaneous and permanent. Where if you're using repetition of affirmations alone, sometimes it takes years and millions of repetition to reprogram the mind. Where when you incorporate the essential oils with these living constituents, it can be instantaneous. But in the fine print to that is you have to be ready to release that emotion and release that memory. A lot of times we try to, especially women, we have a tendency to really sit and brood on things. And we need to just be willing and ready to let them go. Not okay, I'm going to release this, but maybe I'm not quite ready. And then we pull it right back. Okay, you've got to be ready to release it. If you're having a hard time, you find yourself continuously in a cycle where you're having to release the same emotion, the same memory, that's a key sign that you're not ready to release it yet. And AFT can also help you identify why you're not ready for it. What are you scared of? Disclaimer though, AFT was created and this whole Savvy Success protocol is created to be used only with Young Living essential oils. And that isn't because I'm a distributor for the company. It is because the brain is such a sensitive organ and it's a pretty important organ for us, right? So I'm sorry, people, there just is no comparable quality, purity, safety standard out there. There just isn't. If you truly do the research and dig into the company beyond Google and actually call them up and ask them questions and visit their farms and distilleries, you can't do that with any other company. Most of them, you call them and ask where their oils come from, and they don't know. And that matters because essential oils can be loaded with pesticide residues and contaminants that you would not be able to detect in just simply using the product. Now, I don't know about you, but I prefer to leave neurotoxins, carcinogens, and endocrine disruptors far away from my brain and get not in my DNA cells. Okay. So this isn't a marketing ploy or plug for Young Living. It is a safety concern for me. Young Living only. And why not? Gary Young spent his entire life researching ways to produce essential oils. Other companies would not exist had it not been for Gary Young. So, like him or not, he is the reason we have this incredible opportunity for growth and wellness. So, when you're looking for matters of that go beyond just a nice smell, you have to make sure that you're using a truly pure, authentic, living essential oil such as Young Living. Okay. How do these memories get trapped in the first place? Well, it happens when we don't go through the natural process of dealing with whatever that trigger event was for us. So this natural process that we have, it's pain, emotional expression, followed by resolution. It's a 3-step process. And if we don't complete the cycle, our brain, our body stashes it away for another time when it can complete the cycle. Now, this can be as simple as someone stepping on your foot in a crowd. Normal human nature would be to say, ow, expressing the emotion of annoyance to the person who caused us the pain. And now we feel better about it. So we get that resolution. But what if you're in a situation when you just ignore the fact that someone just hurt you by stepping on your foot? You bite your tongue, you stuff the annoyance down, you don't say anything. The body doesn't get to go through that clearing process. So it creates a distorted emotional pathway, and that emotion just gets stuck in the cell, and it will eventually come out in another experience that'll be totally unrelated, such as your goal setting. Now, I'm seriously doing this guy's work injustice with my paraphrasing and summaries, so please read his book. It's pretty fascinating, especially if you like psychology like I do. And I'll put the link for the book in the description of this video, so you have that. However, Dr. Perkis really just put scientific validation and real life testimony to what had already been put out there by some other authors who had each individually discovered that the power of positive or negative thinking and the effects that it had on our psychology and our physical health. I find it super interesting that just the few resources that I have for my own personal use all came from different people who have never worked together or studied under each other. They all worked, or the sources come from different timestamps. They are in no way connected, but their work shows all the same consistency. I was even just at a church conference this past weekend where one of the speakers was talking, kind of just explaining an exact process for releasing painful memories. And he went through the exact same steps. And it was just really, I find that really neat. So when I find this happening with anything that I study, like, the random resources coming to the same conclusion that are not connected or related in any way, this is how I filter through the baloney and figure out what's truly legit and what's just somebody's ideology. So my sources for this exact Savvy Success protocol that we're going to be working through here are the Aroma Freedom Technique by Benjamin Perkis, the blue book called Releasing Emotional Patterns Using Essential Oils by Dr. Carolyn Mine, and Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And I will link all of these resources for you in the video description. Now, again, you can totally do this process without using essential oils, but the oils just help bring things to the surface and reprogram at a cellular level. So you're going to make progress faster using essential oils. You're going to need Stress Away Lavender Frankincense for the memory release blend for the Aroma Freedom Technique session, and then any other oils that are tied to your experiences, such as Believe, Inner Child, Highest Potential, and this will all be explained in the AFT session on Saturday. Today, right now, we're just going to go over the 5 oils in Gary's success protocol for time's sake. There's lots and lots and lots of oils that are used for clearing specific emotions. So the books that I just referenced will help you identify that if you need more specific clearing. The Feelings Buried Alive book is where you're going to get your affirmations. Okay, the Blue Releasing book is going to give you a lot more oil paired with emotions, clearing guidance. And then the Feelings Buried Alive is going to be your resource for finding affirmations tied to those emotions to help you with your I am statement or get you through the other side. The 5 oils in this whole Savvy Success protocol were inspired by an old promo that we had years ago that Gary had chosen for us to help us get through our New Year's resolution. I've taken this protocol even deeper because it deserved a deeper look and a deeper explanation. It's not just a superstitious thing to do for the heck of it, like rubbing a rabbit's foot for luck or anything. Gary didn't work from a surface level superstitions. He truly put a lot of thought into creating these oils and pairing them for this exact purpose. So let's get into that. So the oils that you'll need specifically for this protocol are transformation, peppermint, abundance, motivation, and Idaho ground fir. We're going to talk specifically about how to use them exactly to a T for your intentions. This next part is in your workbook. So if you haven't downloaded and printed that yet, you'll want to do that. I just want to make sure you know that, so you're not worried about screenshotting and taking notes through here. These exact slides are in that downloadable workbook for you that is going with this whole workshop, okay? So starting with transformation. Transformation scrubs the cells clean from their flawed programming. The sesquiterpenes bring in that fresh energy for that new programming that we need. And then it's got grounding and calming oils in there to anchor it all. So it's kind of gives you that out with the old, in with the new transition. So I grab this oil when I'm in a funk and something's got to change. Okay, whether it's, sometimes we get into stages where we feel like we're just yelling at our kids all the time, or if maybe I'm just tired all the time, or so just little things. Anytime something's just, I need a shift, I need a change, I grab the transformation. So for general applications, you're just going to apply transformation, put a few drops on your hand, and just rub them on around your navel in a clockwise direction. So if you need to do some very specific clearings, you can use transformation to help clear out feelings of can't, whether it's I can't do something, I can't be something, whatever, this can't happen. So you're gonna apply the oil just below the navel, and you're gonna use the affirmation of something along the lines of I can, I accept all that I am, something along those lines to get you in that positive mindset. If you are needing to clear out fear or lack of commitment, apply it just below the sternum. Remember, the sternum is your breastbone here. Using affirmations such as I am free, I manifest, I am free to manifest. If you're feeling stagnation, just sitting there rotting, not going anywhere in life, 2 inches below the navel is your application point. The affirmation you can use is something like I am transformed, I am empowered, I am progressive, I am active, I am moving forward. For clearing out feelings of trapped, just again below the sternum with the affirmation of I am free. And then if you're dealing with feelings of limitation, 2 inches below the navel with the affirmation of I am empowered, I accept the totality of who I am powerful, I am effective, I am efficient, I am unlimited, my potential is unlimited, my possibilities are unlimited. You get the idea. Moving on to peppermint. Now, peppermint helps the mind focus. It's used a lot in studies done where students were given peppermint to diffuse while they studied for a test. And then when they took the test, they diffused the oil again. And they found that their students had improved test scores by up to 28%. So it improves your mental accuracy. In this context or use, we're going to be using peppermint to help us just stay focused and hone in on that goal. So if one of those top 10 setbacks for you was focus, peppermint is going to be your tool. For specific clearing purposes, you can use peppermint to clear out feelings of failure. And your application point is going to be the thymus, just that indent that's just below the throat, right before your sternum starts. That's your application point for clearing out failure. Your affirmation is going to be something like, I am unfolding. It is unfolding. I accept growth. For clearing out fear of dependence, apply it to the bridge of the nose, right about that level there, using the affirmation of I am free, I am self-sufficient. Now, I just want to make a note though, anytime you're putting peppermint anywhere near your face, just take a note. It is a very strong and potent oil, so you may find that you want to dilute it, especially getting right up there close to your eyes. So how I would do this application is I would just get my hand just in the cap or along the edge here and just get a little on my finger and then apply it. And then I can, if needed, I would take a carrier oil and put it over the top of that. So just really be aware of that so you don't have teary eyes. For clearing out feelings of restriction, going along the back of the head, I'll cross that medulla point. Your affirmations are, I am transformed, I am empowered, I am progressive, I am active, I am moving forward. If you're dealing with feelings of rigidity, just below the sternum, and your affirmation is, I am free, I am flexible, I move, I go with the flow. Something along being flexible and not stuck. Moving on to motivation. Motivation stimulates feelings of action and accomplishment. It providing positive energy to help you overcome those feelings of fear and procrastination that often come with trying to move forward in life, or even just plain getting something done. So the general application for motivation are just to apply 1 or 2 drops just above the navel, that's your solar plexus, to just wake up and recharge your emotional center. I always use clockwise motions when I am applying my essential oils. And this is just because the atoms automatically are rotating clockwise, the protons and neutrons and such. Those are already spinning around the molecule in a clockwise fashion. Okay, this is science. And so when we add that clockwise rotation to the application, we're just enhancing the motion that's already there instead of going against it. So it's almost like you're activating the molecules and supercharging their activity. So always go in a clockwise motion. I mean, you're not going to wreck anything if it's not clockwise. It's just you're working with nature instead of against it by going clockwise. So you just want to rub it clockwise around your solar plexus there, right above the navel, between the sternum and the navel. And just think of visualizing yourself being wound up like a wind up toy. Or like I always think of like the old cars that had the crank motor. You had the crank out front and had to crank it up to get the motor running. I think of that as like, as I'm rubbing it on my belly, I'm like winding myself up. Now I can go. Okay. Choose an affirmation such as I am propelled forward. I am accomplishing getting my laundry folded. I am full of energy. I am ready to go. Things like that. Something really geared towards moving forward, progress, and being energized. Next, we have abundance. Now, abundance just raises your frequency to match prosperity and plenitude. General application of abundance can just be to diffuse or inhale from your palms. So when we inhale an oil from our palms, we're just simply going to let a drop fall into our hands, rub them together, clockwise motions, and inhale. 3 big inhales and exhales. And then I always like to take the residue and rub them somewhere. If it's just a general oil that's not super strong and potent, I'll like to go on the back of my neck, or if I've got bare arms, I'll do bare arms. Abundance, I tend to be drawn to rubbing on the small of my back. So I put it on that lower back. And I don't know where I got this. Somewhere down the lines, I was told by at some point that was like the energy center, or the body's energy center for like prosperity. So that's where I don't know if I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I've always been inclined to apply abundance to my lower back. Now, using abundance to clear specific emotions, we can use it to clear in emotions of not enough. Maybe you don't feel like you have enough food, you don't have enough money, you don't have enough luck, you don't have enough friends, you don't have enough prosperity, feelings of not being enough. That's where abundance is going to help fill in that gap. You will use your affirmations of I am plenty, I have plenty, I ask for and accept all that is meant for me. And right here is your application point. My red line is slightly off on this graphic. It should be down on that heart center line. That would be your application point for clearing not enough. If you're feeling poor, 2 inches above the navel. Now, remember, poverty can be anything. Poverty simply means lack of. You can have a lack of happiness. You can have a lack of friendship. You can have a lack of life. You can have lack of health. It's not just all about money. So create your affirmation based on what you are feeling a lack of. So it could be something like, I am supported, I am rich, I am prosperous, I am grateful, I am expressing my passion, or my favorite, I am abundantly blessed. For clearing out feelings of scarcity, we're going to just apply abundance to the Adam's apple. And we're going to use that affirmation of I am in alignment with divine law. What is divine law? The cool thing about divine law is that divine law is infinite. So I'm in alignment with infinity. My possibilities are infinite. I am in alignment with that. If you're feeling like you're in a struggle, you can apply abundance on the eye of the parietal point. Now, don't get too caught up when we get to these specific points coming into the next oils here, and don't get too caught up on getting that exact point. If you have that intention of having the oil in your hand and wanting to clear out feelings of struggle, and you say that affirmation of I accept my emotions, you just simply, you'll find that your hand will intuitively go to that point. So don't get too caught up on like, oh, is it an inch this way, half inch that way? Your hand will intuitively go to that point. So if you're dealing with feelings of worry, your application point is the lower part of the sternum. Your affirmations would be something along the lines of I am empowered, I am abundantly blessed, I go to the depths, I trust, I am tenacious, I am reassured, I am steadfast, or I am calm. And though there is your application point. For Idaho Grand Fir is very grounding, anchoring, and empowering. It comes at the bottom of our protocol because we're going to be going through all this work. We're going to clear it, then we're going to make some changes. We've got laser focus. We've got energy and we're motivated to move on forward. So then we want to attract more of that prosperity that we're working towards with abundance. And then we're going to anchor it all and hold it there with Idaho Grand Fir. So general applications for Idaho Grand Fir is going to just be, I've got these in reverse order from what they should be. Should be the bottom of the feet, and then the tailbone, and then the top of the head. And I literally just put a drop in my hand from them together, rub it on my feet, rub it on my tailbone, rub it on the top of my head. I don't like to actually drop oils on the top of my head. Some people do, but it's not, I don't know, that scares me. So I don't do it. If you're for intentional clearing purposes, we can use Idaho Grand Fir for clearing out feelings of inadequacy. So the point for that is going to be the top of the head, midline above the ear. Again, don't freak out about the exact point. Your hand will naturally go to the spot. Your affirmations are going to be something like, I am divinely directed. I am empowered. I am capable. I'm qualified. I am competent. If you're feeling kind of scattered, maybe you're having a hard time focusing, get more peppermint and clear that emotion by applying Grand Fir to the third eye, which is smack dab in the middle of your forehead, using the affirmation of I am centered, I am gathered, I am focused, I am collected, I am concentrated, whatever one of those resonates with you. If you're feeling separate, the vertex point right up on top of the head, your affirmations being I am connected to God, I am unified, I am joined, I am bonded. If you're feeling unsupported, just above the tailbone is your application point, right about there. Using affirmations of I take personal responsibility, I am supported, I am encouraged, I am defended. One of my personal affirmations is my point of support is me, followed by and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Okay, so as I mentioned, don't get too hung up on the points. You will be intuitively guided to the spot. And the oils are already going to know what needs to be done based on the intention you set, the affirmation you put forth. Quantum physics says they scientifically have to do what your intention sets them to do because thoughts create energy. And then when you speak those affirmations out loud, it creates, each word has its own vibration felt by simply just touching your throat as you speak. Now, water responds to energy and vibrations, and our body is made of 70% of water. So this slide here is a microscopic view of how words and emotions affect the molecules of water. The glasses of water were exposed to these different words and different sounds, and then they were frozen and observed under a microscope. So water is an information and energy carrier. We know it is conducive to electricity, which is energy. Your body is 70% of water. So just think about how different those vibrations can affect your body and your health, both good and bad. Now, our cells are covered with these little receptor sites that receive information, and they're grabbing the molecules that are floating around in our bloodstream like a keyhole. When the cell needs something, it opens up that cell receptor site and calls for what it needs. The molecules floating around in our bloodstream are the keys that fit into those specific keyholes of the receptor sites. So you can see how the affirmations can set the tone or the shape of the oil molecules, making them more effective to be received by those exact cell receptor keyholes that the body needs to create balance. But just think of it this way. If the cell is sad, it's going to ask for the opposite of sadness to balance out its scale. The body is in a constant state of seeking homeostasis or balance. So when you set that tone for what you want to happen, you put that intention into the molecule of the oil, just like these water molecules. The oils will match the frequency of the cell, and they'll match the shape of the cell's receptor site, and it'll all come together. So how does this play out in the real? Like, how do you go through the process? What are the actual steps of this Savvy Success process? Well, we need a starting point. So hopefully you've already done that work of figuring out what it is you're looking for. You want to accomplish something. What is that? That's your starting point. And then your end game is what it looks like when you have accomplished that. When you have reached your accomplishment is your end of the road. So the first step is, after you have decided what it is you want, your first step into knocking down the roadblocks that are preventing you from getting what you want are to either just go straight for the transformation oil around the navel with that intention of something's got to change. Or if you really want to knock it out of the park and move on, get to a point where you can just move on with life, AFT is your first step. AFT to help you identify your roadblocks and go through the clearing process to clear those roadblocks out using any of the protocols or the points that we just discussed. From there, you're going to ask yourself, do I have more to clear? If your answer is either going to be yes or it's going to be no. If your answer is yes, you need to go through those exercises that I just demonstrated and clear accordingly. Placing the oil on the point for the emotion you need to clear, stating your affirmation. Or you can also go back and do another AFT session and clear it that way. Okay, so two options, AFT or emotional release clearing. Then you ask yourself, do I have more to clear? If your answer is yes, you go back through the process and you just stay here until your answer is no. And then you get to move on the road to success. So you can see how hanging on to old past garbage can really just keep you in a cycle of being stuck. And how when we can clear that garbage out, we can finally move forward. So moving forward, once you've cleared everything, you're going to move to just those general use application guidelines that I went over. You're going to start with transformation around the navel, envisioning where you're going, what you're looking for, already being there. Then you're going to move on to peppermint to help you stay focused on, keep your eye on the prize. Moving to motivation so that you can stay in a place of taking action. Action yields results. So once you start seeing results and moving progress, you're going to attract more of that same results and progressive energy with abundance. And then you're going to anchor it all and lock it all in so you stay in that zone with Idaho Grand Fir. You're going to use all these 5 oils in those orders each day, every day, until you reach your accomplishment. Now, if along this road you come to any other roadblocks, you got to start all the way back here at square one, clear that roadblock, and then move back on down your road. Now, I have made it super easy for you to just get your hands on these oils. If you don't have a Young Living account yet, just click on the bundle link that I have in the description of this video, create your account, and it will preload a shopping cart ready to go for you. You can edit that shopping cart so you can take out anything that you don't need. If you already have a Young Living account, you can click on that same bundle link, but then instead of creating a new account, you'll want to just log in and it should have that preloaded shopping cart ready to go for you. And again, you can just edit that out in case there's something you don't need. Maybe you're already getting motivation for free this month. Now, all of these oils are points redeemable. So if your subscription order has already processed for the month, go ahead and grab them with some points so you can get your hands on them and move forward with this protocol as soon as possible. Do not wait on this. Your time is now. You deserve success. Now, if you don't have any points to redeem because you're not on subscription, I have to ask you why not. The best way to keep costs at their lowest with no actual commitment. Okay, you can customize what you want and when you want it. So it's not like you would subscribe to, say, transformation and that bottle's probably going to last you several years. Why would you want to have it each month? No, you can put the oil on a subscription status, but then replace it with something else for the next month. Or you can even set the frequency to be every 2 or 3 months if you want. And then you can even, from there, you can even skip those months. So there really is no reason not to put something on subscription status. There's no cons to subscribe to save subscription status, only pros. One of the benefits to making your order a subscription status instead of just a regular shop order is going to be any order over 50 PV earns loyalty rewards point. And then for each consecutive month that you order 50 PV or more, you earn loyalty rewards gifts. So if you order for 3 months in a row, you will qualify for the first loyalty rewards gift. And every 3 months you qualify for a new loyal gift. But the real perk is in the loyalty rewards points you get back on your orders. So for the first 3 months of consecutive orders, you earn 10% of your PV value back in points. And those points are typically 1 point per dollar. So it's not like you need a million points to redeem a $10 item. Okay. So 10 points is typically good for a 10 PV item. So if you go for 4 months, you'll start to earn those loyalty rewards points back at a rate of 20%. And then for each month you continue that, you'll continue to build. So for months 4 through 24 of consecutive orders, you'll earn at a 20% rate. Now, if you go beyond that 24 months, you make it to 25 months of consecutive orders, you'll start earning at a rate of 25% back. Now, I don't know of a single retail store's rewards program that gives you or offers you $25 gift card for every $100 you spend. I don't know of any other place that does that. So it's a really good system. It has zero commitment to you, only benefits. There's no reason for you not to be on it. If you need to talk to me more about that, please just shoot me a message and we'll have a good conversation about if it's a fit for you or not. You guys, Gary wanted oils in every home, and he designed Young Living to achieve just that. You just have to be willing to learn the system. Okay, so no more excuses. Go through this and you're going to just be amazed at what unfolds in your self-development, in your forward progression, and in all areas of your life. To help you get through this whole thing and stay accountable, we're doing this as kind of a Savvy Success Challenge in the Swap It Savvy community group, or for my members of Young Living who are in the Oil Boomers group. I'm running this challenge side by side in each group. So you can join us over there and share in each other's victories, help each other through our struggles, and just get extra tips and more guidance on how to actually do this whole thing. So join us or not, though, we will be cheering you on and hope for the best.